tragedy.
Hidden cave tragedy. All right. Most brutal cave deaths. OAT of all time. By the way, for those who don't know, of all time. OAT. The most brutal cave deaths. Can I speak fucking English before I'm gonna react to a video in English? Please? Most brutal cave deaths of all time. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Put your fucking big boy pants on here. We're gonna witness some shit.
On April 8th, 2012, Hidden Cave
Hidden
Tragedy.
Cave
On
tragedy.
April 8th, 2012, 24-year-old Guillermo Pino Jr. joined friends and family on a casual trip to Arroyo Tapiado in California's Anza Borrego Desert State Park. The area is home to a vast network of fascinating unmarked mud caves. Among them was Hidden Cave, a formation known to experienced explorers for its deceptive terrain and dangerous drop-offs. But for Guillermo, this wasn't a planned expedition. He was barefoot, had no flashlight, no water, and no phone. Just
What the fuck? Who goes into a cave barefoot with with nothing? That's real. That's real. If Brian does come to my house, he's only been to my house like once in our entire lives.
pure excitement.
But like, yo, who goes into a cave barefoot, no flashlight, no water, no phone? Who does that? Who just doesn't have their phone on them 24/7? Wait, what year was this?
Joined friends and family on a 2012.
2012. I feel like still you should always carry your phone in your pocket for communication's sake. Always have your phone on you for communication's sake. Am I speaking facts or am I speaking facts right now?
Flashlight, no water, and no phone. Just pure excitement. As the group remained at their campsite,
You don't have a
Guillermo
phone?
wandered
That's
ahead.
okay. That's different. Like, if you're young and you don't have a phone, that's fair. Then you shouldn't be wandering off alone in a cave by yourself. But once you're, at that age where you're like out by yourself a lot, like far away in God knows where, then you should always be carrying your phone on you for communication's sake.
He climbed into the upper entrance of Hidden Cave and called down to the others, asking them to bring his shoes and inviting them to join him. They agreed, but told him it would take time to scale the steep incline. He replied that he'd just goof around inside the cave until they arrived. Then he vanished into the darkness.
Oh my
Inside,
God, bro.
Guillermo navigated a narrow sloping corridor where loose dirt crumbled underfoot. He braced himself against the walls for balance. But with each step, the terrain worsened. The ground turned
Oh my
slippery,
God.
the path barely visible. By the time his friends reached the upper entrance with his shoes,
Bro got rainbow sherbet ice cream. What is rainbow sherbet? I know sherbet's good. Dude, I know sherbet's good as hell, man. Sherbet is good as fuck, dude. But, yo, this guy goes into the cave. Okay, this guy goes into the cave. Barefoot. No flashlight, no means of communication. He goes deeper. The terrain gets worse. The terrain gets more rocky, more unstable. What does he decide to do? Let's go further. Let's go further. Yeah, sure, I'm barefoot. Sure, I'm getting sliced up at the ankles. Up to the ankle. Why not? Sure. Why not?
Guillermo was nowhere in sight. They called out, but no reply came. Deep within the cave, Guillermo had entered a constricting vertical passage. Crawling blindly through the tight space, he mistook a fragile crust of dirt for solid ground. Suddenly, the ground collapsed. The floor gave way beneath him, and he fell nearly 30 feet or 9 meters into a narrow fissure.
Holy shit. 30 feet? 30 feet don't sound that much on the surface. But like 30 feet? Bro. Oh my God. That's a far fall. That is a far fall, dude. We're hurting and it's not too good, bro.
The impact was catastrophic. Dirt cascaded down on top of him, wedging his body into the crack. He was pinned, his torso buried, limbs
That's
twisted,
awful.
unable to move.
That is
Every breath
awful.
was a struggle. Every attempted shift worsened the situation. He was injured, disoriented, and completely alone in total darkness. Back above ground,
God
the group
damn.
frantically searched, shouting his name into the empty desert. As night fell, they alerted authorities. By morning, a full-scale search was underway. Local law enforcement, specialized cave rescue teams, volunteers, even Border Patrol trackers joined the effort. They combed through the cave
God
system,
damn, they got everyone out here just to save this guy.
unsure if Guillermo was still alive or where he could have gone. But the caves offered no answers. Hidden Cave, like many in the park, is a maze of false leads, dead ends, and unstable shafts. Days passed and hopes faded. On April 16th, 8 days after his disappearance, the San Diego Sheriff's Department officially ended the search. Resources were exhausted. The chance of survival was declared close to zero, but his family refused to quit. They
Bro.
organized their own search parties, recruited volunteers, and eventually hired a private investigator. Guillermo's mother would later say, "We couldn't just stop. We knew he was out there somewhere." Then, 27 days after he
Bro dead. 27 days after he went missing, he dead. GG, bro, he dead.
went missing, came the breakthrough. Using a remote camera,
He
the
did.
investigator explored parts of Hidden Cave that had been previously inaccessible. As the camera was lowered into a narrow crack, its light revealed the heartbreaking truth. Guillermo was there, partially buried in dirt, wedged tightly in the shaft where he had fallen. There were no signs of life. He had been gone for weeks. Recovery took 3
He
grueling days.
dead.
A specialized mine rescue team from Los Angeles joined local cavers to carefully dig through the fragile terrain. When Guillermo's body was finally retrieved, the autopsy confirmed what everyone feared. He had died of asphyxiation from chest compression, likely within hours of becoming trapped.
Oh my
Rio Chontal
god, he just couldn't
on
breathe.
tragedy.
He just got, oh my god, imagine being stuck down there, rocks crushing you from the back and the front, and you just can't breathe, or even worse, like the side, crushing you. Oh my god, that's awful. Y'all, if you're watching this, please don't go cave diving. Please do not go cave diving. I fear for your life if you go cave diving. Okay, I'm not gonna try to pronounce
On
that.
March 9th, 2003, the midday sun blazed over Guerrero, Mexico. A group of tourists
Bro, there's no way you went cave diving. There's no actual way you went cave diving.
arrived at the entrance to Gruta del Rio Chontalcuatlan.
No, I felt one. Oh, I felt that once. I didn't go cave diving. Oh, I got you.
Among thrill-seeking visitors. They were led by local guides, men who had grown familiar with the cave over time, not through formal training, but experience. The tourists came for excitement. What they found was something much darker. The entrance to the cave wasn't gentle or forgiving. It was a steep canyon, a sharp crack in the earth that dropped like a throat into complete darkness. To enter, one had to descend loose, crumbling rock, where every step and every handhold had to be tested. A single mistake could lead to disaster. Among the group was Maria Santos, a young woman who had come to Mexico on vacation, chasing adventure. As the tourists began their descent into the canyon, they spaced out casually along the slope, unaware that this was already a critical mistake. In unstable terrain, climbers must maintain vertical spacing. One person above another means that a single dislodged rock can become a deadly missile. Maria was halfway down, focused on her footing. Above her, another tourist shifted their weight. Whether it was a loose foothold
Oh,
or a
bro,
fragile
yo, you know what I'd do? I would just literally break it.
hand grip giving
Like,
way,
yo, hold on,
a
wait.
limestone boulder, small and ordinary, broke free. Gravity did the
Oh,
rest.
shit.
The rock accelerated down the
Just like
slope,
smacked
just a
her.
few pounds in weight, but at that speed, it became a lethal weapon. In the dim light, Maria
Nah, you know what I would do, bro? I'd break it. Yo, I'd eat it, bro. I'd catch that in my teeth, bro, and I'd just break that rock. Ooh. Fuck out of here. That rock. Stupid rock. You think a rock's gonna hurt me? Just flex. I'd just flex. You know, just like. And then the rock would break. The rock would just break under the sheer intensity of my flexing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude.
never saw it coming. The stone struck her head with devastating force, like a sledgehammer blow from above. Her hands lost their grip. Her feet slipped.
Compared to look how big the rock is compared to the head, bro. I don't care, bro. I'd smash it. I'd grab it, just break it, just you know what I mean? So stupid. Hold on, wait, what?
And then she was
Whoa!
her body tumbled violently down the canyon.
I just spilled a drink. Bro, I just spilled that all over the place, bro. I don't even have it. Yeah, I do. How am I lazy? I'm literally cleaning it up right now. Stop. Bro, stop. Bro, you're lazy. You're lazy. You're not helping me clean it. You're lazy. You're lazy for real. I'm not the lazy one. I'm cleaning it. Alright, we're good. We're all good, dude. You don't do it. Nah. That's no excuse. You have no excuse. Alright. Alright, we're back.
Wall, bouncing off jagged rock, each impact worsening
my
the
God.
injuries. They could do nothing but watch as her body tumbled out of sight.
Oh my God.
Long, heavy silence followed, interrupted only by the quiet shifting of rocks below. The guides froze. They had seen accidents before, but this was different. A tourist had just been killed under their watch. The group panicked. Some wanted to rush down and help, but the guide stopped them. The slope was still unstable. Sending more people down could trigger another fall.
Real.
They waited. Hours passed. When rescuers finally reached Maria, they confirmed what most already feared. The trauma from the initial impact was catastrophic. Even without the fall, she likely would not have survived. The rescue
Ugh.
team now faced the grim task of recovering her body from the same deadly slope. It took hours. Every step risked dislodging more rock. The
Oh my
rescuers
God.
used ropes and anchors, carefully maneuvering around unstable sections of the canyon. They had to secure Maria's body to a stretcher and haul it back up the jagged path without triggering another collapse. When they finally reached the surface, the full
Holy
tragedy
fuck.
became clear. Rubidou Spring Cave.
Them rocks. That rock just crushed her face, dude. Oh, dude, that sucks. I just like can't fathom like people actually just die this way. Just gone. Gone. You're one day you're 1 second you're having fun, just gone. Life is gone. That's I can't even think about that. That's actually such a horrible way. That's a horrible way to go, especially getting like smashed in the face by a random falling rock that someone accidentally kicked out. Imagine the guilt that the guy who accidentally stumbled on that rock felt. Even feels like right now. Man, bro. That's like might have to get a therapist for that one, dude.
On August 23, 2003, three experienced cave divers stood at the edge of Rubidou Spring Cave in Missouri. Among them was 50-year-old Stephen Wybrand.
That looks gorgeous.
Stood at the edge of Rubidou Spring Cave.
That looks gorgeous. Oh my God. I'd go there, bro, if I didn't die. If I wouldn't die doing it.
Cave in Missouri. Among them was 50-year-old Stephen Wybrocht, a dedicated diving enthusiast.
Stephen, huh?
With him were Ron Shirley and John Davis, both seasoned cave explorers. They had been planning this dive for weeks, excited to reach the enormous underground chamber known as the Big Room, hidden 1,400 feet or 427 meters from the entrance and 165
Bro, listen, when a cave is a maze like that, no, especially underwater, no, no, don't do that, don't do that, no, that is a death trap waiting to fucking happen. Ever hear the Nutty Putty Cave incident? Nutty Putty, he went down the wrong section, he kept squeezing down, it's a fucking death trap, dude. Closes in on you, you're done, you can't go backwards, you can't go forward, you're dead. That's awful.
Feet or 50 meters beneath the surface. Rubidou Spring Cave is not a place for amateurs. Its twisting tunnels and deep passages require extensive planning, training, and specialized gear. All three divers carried the required certifications, and their equipment reflected the seriousness of the dive. They wore dry suits to shield themselves from the cold 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius water, and
Damn.
insulating layers underneath to maintain body heat.
Damn.
Each man carried twin tanks filled with Trimix, a carefully balanced mix of
Trimix.
oxygen, nitrogen, and helium.
We knew
Additional
that. We've watched these before. We do know that.
Bottles were strapped to their gear, one filled with Trimix, the other with nitrox for decompression. The divers also brought underwater scooters, handheld propulsion devices that would help conserve energy and
Those things are so sick. Those things are so sick. If I ever go scuba diving, I'm gonna need one of those, dude. That thing is so sick. I love it.
air. For Steven, this was his first dive using one. It was supposed to be a new milestone in his
Oh,
diving
man.
journey. They entered the spring pool and began their descent. The water at the surface was crystal clear, but they knew visibility could vanish deeper in, where a careless kick could stir up clouds of silt. Their first
I
stop was
hate
the
that,
drop-off,
bro.
a point 350 feet or 107 meters into the cave, where the floor suddenly falls from 50 feet or 15 meters to over 130 feet or 40 meters. There, they would leave their nitrox tanks to use later on their way out. Switching to their Trimix travel tanks, they powered on their scooters and continued into the deeper zone known as Wichita
Because
Avenue.
you got those, you can... Dude, underwater, that sounds so awesome. That sounds so awesome.
The passage stretched for over 1,100 feet or 335 meters and stayed close to 150 feet or 46 meters in depth. Their lights cut through the black water, revealing ancient limestone formations and flashes of cave-adapted life. But beneath the calm surface of the dive, trouble was already brewing. Steven's stage bottle was draining faster than expected. Whether from adjusting to the scooter or a small leak, he began using his back-mounted tanks sooner than planned. He didn't mention it to the others. The group pressed on and finally...
That sucks. Dude, oh my god, dude, that one little thing going wrong and he's just gonna die now. Dude, I would just leave. Like, if you have to use it that soon, just go back. Just leave, just flash your light, do a little click, 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 and then you just be like, I'm out of here, dude. I'm not gonna die so my friends can explore a damn cave. That just sounds stupid. That's dumb.
Reached the big room, a wide, eerie chamber so massive their lights couldn't illuminate the entire space. They floated for a moment in silence, taking in a sight only few divers would ever witness. Then, it was time to go back. As they retraced their path through Wichita Avenue, Steven checked his pressure gauge. It read just 500 psi, or about 34 bars, which is dangerously low. A typical tank begins
I don't know
with
what that
around
means.
3,000 psi, so he had burned through nearly 85% of his air. He quickly signaled Ron and showed
And he still has 1,400 to go. 1,400 feet to go back to the surface.
him the gauge. Ron responded immediately, offering his secondary regulator on an extended hose, which Steven took. Now, breathing from Ron's tank, Steven
W teammate, W friend, W diver.
continued beside him, but things got worse. Steven was struggling with buoyancy. He rose too high, then dropped too low, fighting to maintain depth. Ron stayed close. John had gone ahead, unaware of the situation unfolding behind him. As they reached the drop-off and began ascending, Steven's buoyancy control failed completely. He floated upward too quickly, reaching the end of Ron's hose. The regulator popped from his mouth. He swam back down, reconnected to the backup, and gave Ron the OK hand signal. Then he vanished. The silt they had stirred now filled the water, turning everything into a cloudy blur.
Oh,
Ron
shit.
couldn't see him anymore. At the 70-foot or 21-meter decompression stop, Steven's bottle was still untouched. John had already retrieved his and moved on. Hoping Steven had made contact with another dive group, Ron collected his gear and continued toward the surface. When he surfaced, he gave the news. Steven was missing. Rescue divers were dispatched immediately. They found Steven's body floating near the ceiling of the cave, not far from where Ron had last seen him. All three of his tanks were empty, and his dry suit's exhaust valve was completely closed, meaning air couldn't escape as he ascended, likely the cause of his buoyancy loss of control. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe.
God damn, dude. Holy shit. That's so bad. That is so sad. Oh my god. That's interesting though. That's very interesting.